Hey Visionaries, welcome back to the Your Biggest Vision Show. I am your host, Leah, and we're very lucky to have Ines Schubi with us here today. Hi, Ines.
Hi,
How
I'm
are
really
you?
excited to be here today.
Oh, good. Well, I'm very excited to chat with you. Ines is very, very special to me. She is a really wonderful person and entrepreneur, and she is a very successful alum of my Scale Your Side Hustle program. So I have been truly honored to see her build what she's done. And she just is so passionate about what she does. And so I guess I should share that.
Yes.
She's so many things. She is a fitness expert. She's a vegan. She loves helping women become more healthy, but doing so in a practical way. And she's a digital nomad herself. And so she particularly loves helping women that are digital nomads or big travelers stay healthy while they're still traveling the world. But you know, it's very easy to become unhealthy when we travel, as we all know. So she's really incorporated everything she loves personally into her business, which I think is the best thing ever. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about that kind of thing. So we're really lucky to have her. Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for being here, Ines.
Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I've been listening to it since the beginning, and I was like super happy when I received the invitation, and I'm glad to be here to share my knowledge today with the listeners. And yeah.
Amazing. So you have an accent. Why don't you share where you're from and a little bit
Yeah.
about where you've lived everywhere?
I'm not American. I'm actually French, and I lived like pretty much my first 20 years in France, and then I started traveling and living abroad several times. So I lived in actually New York for summer, and then I lived also in Edinburgh, in Scotland, in Hong Kong for some studies, and then I decided to move after my studies to Buenos Aires in Argentina to practice my Spanish, because I also have some Spanish blood in my body from my mom's side. And then I moved to Montreal in Canada because I wanted to be in a safer environment, a more stable country than Argentina. And so that's where I went. And yeah, so I'm a bit of a citizen of the world. Like, I'm French, but I love being abroad. And this is also why I created this business.
So when you left France when you were like 20, and it sounds like you started by studying abroad, but then you eventually actually moved abroad, not just studying.
Yeah.
Was that a big deal for you? Was it a big decision, or did you just sort of always know in your gut that you were going to travel?
Yeah, no, I always knew in my guts that I wanted to travel. I always loved it and did many vacation and always put all of my savings for traveling. Always. That was the number one priority. It was not for clothes or food, maybe food a little bit, but my big savings were always for traveling. And so I always knew I wanted to live abroad eventually. So whenever I had the opportunity, when I finished my studies, I was like, okay, I'm going, bye.
Yeah. So what did you think you were going to be when you grew up? It sounds like you knew you were going to travel, but what job-wise, what did you want to do?
When I was like very little, I really wanted to be a stewardess.
Because you wanted to travel?
Yeah.
That is so cute.
And like my mom was like, yeah, I know, you should definitely do a stewardess. You love traveling so much, like just go for this. And actually, well, I didn't end up doing that. I don't know, because maybe when I finished high school, it was not like a specific a degree to get for being a stewardess, so I didn't go towards that thing, but I went to marketing and international business, and that was international in it. So I was like, okay, with that I'm going to be able to go abroad. Okay. So yeah, it has always been in my journey, the plan to do that.
And so you started your business when you were in Montreal?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
what was that like?
Yeah, so actually, when I started actually working full time after my studies in Argentina, I worked in marketing. After a couple of months, I already knew it in my gut that I didn't want to do marketing for my entire life for another company. I didn't feel completely fulfilled, and I was not putting my 100% best in my work. Like I was doing it well, everybody was happy. But deep down, I knew I was not giving it my all. And I already started brainstorming by myself, with like my little notes here and there, like, what do I really like doing? What do I want to do with my life? Like, if that's not it, what is it? And so I started like researching all of that already started in Argentina during a whole year. It was not intense, but here and there I was like picking up ideas. And yeah, I remember having some light bulb moments where in the metro I was like, okay, I need to do this kind of business. And so before going to Montreal, I already was thinking, okay, I had this amazing idea. I want to do like snacks, vegan snacks that are going to be different every week and that I can deliver to people's house. And so that was the initial idea. And I went to Montreal with that idea in mind. And then I started asking around how it was feasible in terms of like sanitary things, like because I didn't have like an official like kitchen. So I was wondering if I could do it in my home, but you know, with food it's complicated. So I finally realized that it was not actually possible to do that in a short amount of time. And I was not sure I wanted to stay in Montreal. I knew I had like 1 year or 2 years in Montreal. And people told me I could get as long as like 1 year to get the proper papers and everything in order, you know, to create my business, like 1 year. I was like, okay, no, this is too long. I cannot do that. And so that's when I started thinking, okay, I need to do something I can do right now, and online could be the solution. Mm-hmm. And then a friend told me like, okay, so you actually want to become like a digital nomad? I was like, oh, there is a word for that. I didn't
I've always known, but I just didn't know how to call it. That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? And well, basically it's just people who work online so they can travel, they like move around and keep working wherever they are. And I was like, yes, this is what I want. This is what I want. Okay, now I'm going to build a business around that idea of a digital nomad, around the thing I love. And actually, so the first months in Montreal, I was trying to find a job to get money. So that was the first priority. And once that was done, I was starting to really brainstorming hard. And then I got like, you know, there is always negative things coming up in life, and I always try to get the positive out of it. And so I got appendicitis in like the 31st of December.
Oh my gosh.
And I was supposed to start my new job in marketing like the 3rd of January, and I couldn't because I was in bed for like a whole week. And instead of going like just like completely rest mode and just watch Netflix for a whole week, I started like really thinking about my business. I was like, okay, what do I want to do? And then I started like writing down my values, what I liked, my past experiences, linking my experiences with what I learned, and grouping all of that together, asking all of my friends, what do you think I'm best at? And what do you like admire about me and stuff like that? And so I could pull out my strengths and my values and what I love. And with all this information, I came to the conclusion that I should start something such as like a blog or an Instagram. And I was like, okay, Instagram is just so easy. I'm going to start with that. And so during that whole week, this like a week of like not vacation, but I was not working, so I had time for thinking. And so I would recommend to anybody who's like on vacation right now or anything, it's the right time. Like you have
I recommend getting appendicitis.
Yeah, you don't have to get appendicitis. But I take advantage of like this free time to explore yourself a bit more. And so that's what I did. And I just started an Instagram, just as simple as that. I was like, okay, I'm going to share about my passion for food, vegan food, and for fitness on Instagram. And we'll see where that goes. That was the beginning.
Okay, so before we go on with your business more, because I do want you to share more about how everything you've done with it, but how did you get into veganism and fitness? Like what was your path kind of with that made you even know enough about it to start a business about it?
Okay, so fitness, it has always been part of my life. I've always loved sports. I was always like the most sporty girl at school. I was beating the guys at the races and arriving like on the podium at races because I freaking love running. And I think I have good genetics for it, I guess. And so I tried all of the sports, like name it, I've done it. And every year I would change, and I still love trying out new sports. So that has been ingrained. It's in my DNA. I freaking love it. And food, actually, well, I'm French, so It is very important for French people, but not everybody is like as gourmand, we say in French, like loving food too much as me. People are like, well, you're obsessed with food, Ines, like to stop it. So I've always been like that, but I was not always vegan. And so actually when I was in Argentina, again, something kind of negative is that I could not have access to a doctor because it was not covered by my insurance, just to go like to a skin doctor, dermatologist, because I had eczema. And my eczema flared up really, really bad in Argentina. And before that, it was just okay. Like I just had a little bit. It was not bothering me. It was not hurting me. But in Argentina, it was really bad. And I started digging into the internet, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna find it for myself. I know that putting a corticoid on my skin is not going to cure the problem. It's just to cure the external factors, like, okay, I'm having a rash and it's coming back all the time. So this is not the solution. I really wanted to see the solution. And I started looking up on YouTube and I was like, okay, cure eczema. Wow. And a lot of people shared their journey about veganism and how it helped them cure the eczema. And I saw some people that had like such worse eczema than me going completely without eczema anymore. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then I decided to dig in the veganism and the plant-based diet, and doing lots of research, lots of reading, academic papers, and also lots of movies. You know, now there are so many movies on Netflix that tells you about the health aspect of a plant-based diet. And I was convinced, but I was like, deep down myself, I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. I love food so much. Like, I cannot.
And cheese? You're French?
I love cheese, but it's not like my biggest love. I know for French, I'm a weirdo, but I can live without cheese. I'm fine. But 99% of the French people can't. Yeah. But more for me, it's like more pastries and like everything at the bakery, with eggs, with dairy, with milk, with butter. All of that I freaking love, and I want to have from time to time. And I was like, I cannot go out of that like without this. So I was like really in a battle in my mind. I was like, I really want to get better, but I can't go vegan. This is not me. Like, I love food too much. So it took me some time to process this information. I was already eating mainly vegetarian in Argentina. Because meat and fish, I'm like, I don't really need it, and I never like loved it, so I was fine without it. And then when I moved to Montreal, I decided to go fully vegan for a month because I knew that in Montreal it would be way easier for me to go vegan, because in Argentina you can't find like all the healthy products we have in North America and all that. Right. It's super expensive also when you find it. So I was like, okay, Montreal is going to be vegan. And actually, Montreal is like one of the best vegan city in the world. Like, there are so many restaurants, so many stores. In any like little supermarket, you can find lots of like vegan options with tofu, tempeh, kombucha, stuff like that. Like, it's just paradise. And so I did it. It was super easy to make the transition. And actually, I was like not craving any of the non-vegan stuff. And I was like really happy. And it had like a good impact on my skin. Actually, it didn't cure it completely, but it really helped. And so that's how I got into veganism. And
but it did help your eczema?
It did help my eczema, but this can be like a whole other topic for how like I'm curing my eczema. But yeah.
Did you see any other health benefits from it? Like, did you feel more energetic or anything?
Yeah, I was like feeling like I was just feeling more energy and just feeling more vibrant and not sluggish after my meals and stuff like that. Especially for the dairy, because I was not actually digesting well, and I kind of knew for years, but I was like, fuck it, I still can't stop. And so yeah, so no, it was really, really good. And once you know how to eat, which is a bit complicated at first, it's actually pretty easy, and it enabled me to find out more about food and learn about like ingredients and stuff and veggies that I didn't know before. And so it opened up like a whole new world that I didn't know of. And so
Yeah, right.
usually people see veganism as a restriction, and now I see it as something as the opposite of restriction. It's like it has broadened my horizon and my spectrum of like food.
Right, right. And yeah, you just like learned a whole new world of cooking and recipes and health that you never even knew before. If anyone listening is interested in veganism at all, Ines, I am not a vegan, but I have her vegan cookbook. It's amazing. And it's just exactly to what you're saying. And that's like, if before I read that, I would have been like, oh, vegan snacks like carrots. She really has these amazing, simple, you know, like just a few ingredients that you probably already have in your home. Really healthy recipes. So you guys should totally go download that. It's on her website if you want, because that like really opened my eyes to it. And it did make it more fun. It's kind of a game at that point. If you decide that you want to eat healthy, it's just about getting creative about how you can make it as fun as possible for yourself. So you probably do, in a way, eat more, quote, fun than people that aren't vegan or anything, because they're just not even thinking about it, you know?
Yeah. And because people who are in the same nutrition routine, they don't try to explore new things, like, because they are not forced to. But when you are changing your diet like that, you are forced to go and dig like recipe from here and there and find out about new ingredients. And that's what's fun about it. And for me, nutrition should be first pleasure. Like, it should be delicious. If it's not delicious, what's the point of eating for me? So I make sure everything I share is like freaking delicious and has the approval from me, is like the best approval, because all of my friends will tell you, oh no, but this is delicious. I'll be like, that's not.
If it's approved by a French person, then it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back now to Montreal. You start your website Fit on Veggies. So how did you start turning kind of what happened to you and your story and becoming vegan and your love for food into a business?
So yeah, like I said, I started just with that Instagram, and starting from that, I read some books on, I don't even know, it was not just like business, but just like inspiration, like where do you want to go, and like self-introspection. And in one book, it's You're a Badass. This is the book that I freaking love, and I recommend to everybody listening right now. This is like the best self-development book I've ever read, and I recommend it to everyone. So it is like $60 that is going to change your life. It changed mine. And so I read that, and she was saying in it that actually you need, if you want to go and become like an expert in something in your life, like might as well take a shortcut and have somebody who is already an expert teaching you those things. And so basically she was saying, have a coach, like get a coach in whatever you want to do in your life, get a coach. And I was like, okay, so that's the next step. I need to find a coach. And I started typing like business, digital nomad business coach. And I was like finding like weird things, and nothing was coming up like I wanted. And then I guess because I did that research and clicked on and things, and then like Facebook groups and stuff like that, I got targeted by your Facebook ads. And I was so glad this Facebook ads got to me. I was like, finally a Facebook ad that I want.
The Facebook gods came through.
And I saw it, and I was like, okay, this is exactly what I need. Like, you were offering a way to build a business alongside your 9-to-5, and this was exactly my situation. I was in a 9-to-5. I was not planning on quitting my 9-to-5 or anything. I really wanted to build that on the side first. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I got to know you, and then I got into your program, and your program enabled me to create my website and everything, and the foundation for all my business, because before that, I had no idea. I was completely lost. I was like, I know marketing because that's what I learned at school, but school didn't teach me how to grow a personal brand, and didn't teach me how online marketing and stuff like that, because it's always changing on top of that. So I really didn't know where to start. So I knew I had to be coach, and so that's why I bought the program, and that was the best decision ever. And that was like just over a year ago.
I know, it's been amazing to see everything you've done since then. I still remember talking to you on the phone and you just being like, I want to build this business, but I don't know, will it work? And like, now look at you. You just like got back from 6 months in South America, which we'll get to. But I want to first ask, you know, and kind of like take me out of the equation. But the moment when you joined Scale Your Side Hustle, that was probably more than you had ever invested in your business at all. Were you scared? What made you like believe in yourself enough to say yes to that? And what advice would you give yourself again, or other people that are kind of in that, like not sure what to do phase?
Yeah, I also read about that if you don't invest in yourself, then you're not gonna go as far as you want and as fast as you want, because entrepreneurship is a long journey, and I'm still on this journey and will be for many years and hopefully all my life, because it is something complicated and there is no one solution fits all. It will never. You can receive like many advice and take all the freebies, but if it doesn't match all, like I already tried before, like going on the program, I tried different little things, but I still completely felt lost because nothing was connected and nothing made completely sense altogether.
Yeah.
And so I knew that following a program step by step would enable me to go from this point of like complete confusion to, okay, I have a plan. Now I know, I just need to execute it. I just need somebody to tell me what to do.
Yeah, and how to do it. So for you, the decision came from a place of deciding that you wanted to have a business, period. Like that was not a negotiation or, or a maybe or anything. You knew you wanted to have it. You had tried other things and they didn't work. And so you just knew in your heart that even though it might be scary to spend money or you might not know if it's going to work, this was the only option that you could take to actually get to where you want to be. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also the fact that you went through the journey, that the same journey as me, and you were successful. And I was like, if she made it, she knows how to do it. Right. So I need all of her knowledge and translate it in my brain.
Like actually did what you did. So that's good. Okay, so you start. Let's see. You did Scale Your Side Hustle last spring. I can't believe like everything you've done in a year. Just saying that out loud. So then walk us through kind of the beginning of what was your first sale like, and then when did you quit your job?
Okay, so I was doing all the program during like the spring, summer, and then at the end of the summer, I started thinking about, I was running actually like a challenge online in a Facebook group. And after running that challenge like a couple of times, I had some people who were really interested into a program. I saw, like, I told them about a program that I didn't prepared. Like I was like, I'm just gonna throw it out there. We'll see if somebody catches it. Like, and that's it. And so yes, I got some people like coming back at me and like, Ines, is the program ready? I was like, what the fuck? I cannot believe this. Okay, people want something from me. I was really excited about it, so I put a lot of work into it, but I still had like I had another like negative moment in my life because I lost my job during that summer. And so it was really stressful. The company shut down all of a sudden, and I had many trips planned and all over. And so I decided, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy my summer, like rest a little bit my mind and just go off like business mode and then come back strong. And so I came back in September, found a job, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready to make this program happen. And I was out of the Scale Your Side program, but I needed some guidance, so I called you and again. And out of that 1 hour call that we had together, we decided I would launch my program like basically the week after, and I would just like sell it like crazy for a week and see what happens. And so that's what I did. I did everything in 1 week. I sold as much as I could. I went on all platforms, and then I got 4 people onto my program in the beginning of October. And so that's when I made my first sales. And I was like, I remember getting the first like email from PayPal, and I was like, screaming everywhere. And I had friends in town, and we went to celebrate in a restaurant, and it was just like the best feeling ever. I put so much effort into everything like I did since January that year. That was last year. And so finally seeing the results and then running the program. And so how did I run a program that I didn't prepare? I prepared it. Of course, I already had like the layout, but I didn't prepare the videos and all that. And so basically what I did was I just went live every day on the Facebook group. And I taught about fitness, about nutrition and mindset, like in tiny videos of 5 to 10 minutes. And I was doing it live. And then I recorded all of them so like I could reuse them for the second round of the program. So that's how I did it. And no need to plan so much, actually. Like if you're in a rush, you can always make it happen. So that's what I did. And that's
I think you learned a lot about yourself from that experience. I think you learned a lot about your potential as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and doing that all around my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So I was waking up super early every morning, and I was doing the live from my bedroom. It was dark, like outside in Montreal, like winter was coming, and and I was like in my tiny bedroom, like not speaking too loud because of my roommates. And I was like, "Hey girls, let's talk about this."
You made it happen, though. I mean, I have so much respect for you, and you have always shown. You know, I think I know that that's the reason you've become so successful is because you've always not taken your own excuses and done what it takes. And a lot of people don't do that. And I think that that's a really good explanation of the kind of, entrepreneur you are, and showing that you will make it work, whatever it needs to be, you make it happen. And that's essential for entrepreneurship. If you are not willing to like do the things that you need to do when they're uncomfortable, or it's dark out, or you're exhausted, or you have a job around it, then it's going to be really hard to plow through. And so since then, you did leave your 9 to 5 job. You just spent 6 months in South America. Tell us a bit more about where you're at now.
Yeah, so I quit my job in December that year, and then in January I joined my brother, who was already doing a world tour for over a year, and I joined him in Peru, and we started Peru, and then Colombia, Costa Rica, Panama, and did all that over 6 months. And the last bits I was like alone, and I was traveling and working at the same time, and it was freaking amazing. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to live, and I couldn't believe I made it happen. My dream came true finally, and I was like, okay, I cannot believe this, and I still can't believe it. Right now, I'm at home, and I was like, my other brother is living also at home with my parents. I just came back to France for the summer. Because I have some events and some other mini trip planned over here. And my brother is like working a traditional 9 to 5 job. He's like, yesterday he just came back from a festival. I was like, I don't want to go to work. And in my mind, I was like, I'm like going to work every day. I'm still going to work. Like yesterday was 8 p.m. and I was like, I'm going to work until 10 p.m. tonight, but I don't care. Like I'm doing something I love. And I'm happy to be working, and he's in this situation where he's like not really happy to go to work. So I remember being in that position, and that was a good reminder. Yes, just yesterday night. Right.
And aren't you going to travel again soon?
Yeah, so my plan is to stay around here around until October, because these are my travels from Strasbourg are until October, and then I want to be spending like end of October, November, December in another place. I don't know yet where. Probably in Europe, like a low cost country, such as like maybe Portugal or Greece or like East Europe, and then I want to move to Australia. So
so awesome.
And yeah, like from there, I travel again to Asia because I freaking loved Asia when I was living in Hong Kong. So yeah, I've always wanted to move to Australia, and because I've moved so many times, like when you have a regular 9 to 5 job, you always have to quit it and then find it, and like it takes
Right.
2-3 months to find like a marketing job, like a good one. And actually even the one I found were not like perfect, and so I could have still like looked for a longer time, but at some point you need to take one. So I was like, okay, when I want to go to Australia, which I know I want to move to, I don't want to be again in that same routine of like having to find a job and the stress. I hate like applying for jobs. I think I'm not good at this. Like, I'd rather send a video, which I'm doing sometimes, but yeah. So I was like, okay, if I have my online business, I can just like run around anywhere. I can go to Australia and bring my business, my laptop with me, and that's it. That's all I need: my laptop and Wi-Fi.
Do you think you will ever have another 9 to 5?
Well, right now I'm like doing some side freelance gigs on the side as well as my business. So that's what I'm having. But a regular 9 to 5 job, no, like I really don't want to. This is not something that aligns with my values because I know I'm not going to enjoy it
Yeah.
and I'm not going to give it my best. So I'd rather focus on my business, make it work, and grow it, and just live from this.
Amazing. Well, it's been incredible to see you go from pretty much zero. I feel like last year when you and I met, you had like an Instagram and a dream. And that's like
Yes.
where you're at. And now you have your full business online. I know you've run your program several times and your clients love it. I know that you're also helping digital nomads specifically now, which is super exciting. And you're traveling the world. So it's been incredible to see your journey, and it's still just the beginning for you. So thanks for sharing it with us today.
Thank you so much. I hope my journey can inspire anybody listening and know that you've got what it takes. Like you just need motivation and somebody to guide you and whatever thing you want to achieve. Like if
It's
you need
true.
a business coach, you're here, Leah. Like Urban Story Coffee is here for you. If you need a fitness coach because you want to get leaner or like just feel better in your own skin, reach out to me. I'll be very, very happy. Or just check out my Instagram, Ines Schubi, and you'll get plenty of tips for free there. So
Amazing. So where can people find you before we leave?
yeah, so basically my main platform is Instagram, and so it's Ines Schubi, and Schubi is SCHUBI. So I post stories every day, show you what I eat, how I train, and I inspire you, and I spread my love and energy through my stories every day. So if you need that, you think in your life, and if you're a digital nomad especially and want to create healthy routines on the road, this is what I specialize in right now, especially for women. So reach out to me, send me a DM. I'll be very happy to meet other entrepreneurs. I freaking love this community of online digital nomads. And yeah, so thank you so much for having me here.
Fabulous. Thanks for sharing. It was my pleasure. And I know you're going to inspire so many people. So thanks again, Ines. And thank you, visionaries, for tuning in. I hope you check out Ines's Instagram and her amazing cookbook. Can't recommend it enough. And if you ever need anything, she's there for you. And so am I. And here is to your biggest vision. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Ines.
Bye.